What's up guys, Dr. Teddy Wilsey here, back for another installment of the recovery workout series. Now today we're going to talk about the pecs and the shoulders in terms of shoulder mobility. I know that in one of the most recent CrossFit games there was a big problem with torn pecs, and we see these issues with dips and muscle ups and anything where we're getting into a ton of shoulder extension. So shoulder extension is this movement right here. Now obviously that happens when I'm bench pressing. It also happens when I'm doing dips or any of those types of motions. So what we're going to go over today is a way that we can kind of safely and effectively load that tissue, strengthen it, and condition it so that it is not susceptible to any tears or injuries down the road. So our first movement today is just going to be a basic ring stretch. I'm going to push my chest forward here and just open up my arms. Now one thing I want you to think about is you can find a different range of motion if it's more comfortable for you. So if you want to come up here, if you want to come down here, everybody's going to be a little bit different in terms of where they're tight, so find your good spot. Last cue for this is I want you to lead with the chest. Okay, so don't lead with your head, keep the chest out. So the idea of this recovery workout is to kind of alternate between a mobility exercise and something where we're really loading the tissue. So first exercise was really just stretching out. Now we're going to load the tissue through an eccentric push-up. And this is going to be a depth push-up, so I'm using parallettes here. And you notice it's eccentric only because I stop at the bottom and then use my body to help come back up. Third exercise is going to be a cable press. You can use a band for this too. Now I'm going to talk about one thing with foot positioning. Let's say I had the same side foot back. That would open up my hips and I would have less total stretch across my chest here. So if I press here, this is kind of a good way to get it started. And then as I want to increase the stretch across my chest, which is the goal here, loading that tissue, I'm gonna bring same side foot forward and I rotate there. I'm getting a nice stretch across the chest and press out. Now don't do this heavy, okay? We're not trying to really tax our muscles. We're trying to rotate through the torso and just load the tissue. Okay, so this next stretch is called the Boley stretch. And what I'm gonna do is I have a band anchor behind me on a rig or rack. I'm gonna bring it just inside this crease of my shoulder, inside my pec, or outside my pec rather. I'm gonna take my hand behind the back, push my shoulder forward some, and then let it open up. So what I'm stretching here is my pec minor. Pec minor is a small little muscle that comes from your scapula, or your shoulder blade, right down to your ribs, and you really have to open up this area to stretch it. So we don't typically stretch the pec minor on a normal pec stretch like this, which is why we have to really concentrate on opening up this area right there. Now, this is a shoulder extension stretch, and I tell everybody, be gentle on this, okay? We don't want to jam our shoulder as far as possible. We just want a nice, gentle stretch here, and then come out of it. Now, the same foot and hip rules apply as on the cable press. So, if I were to have my foot that's closer to my arm back, there's more torque coming through the hips, whereas if I bring that foot forward, it puts all the torque on my upper body. So I call this a rotating push-up, and the purpose of this is each time I go down, I'm going to rotate away and get more shoulder extension and thus more stretch on my pecs. I like to do it from a barbell a little bit higher than the ground because that's going to make it easier than if I were all the way down. So just set up like a normal push-up, and when I come down, you're going to see me tilt my body and rotate away. So this is called back to wall shoulder flexion. I'm gonna have my lower back flat against the wall. Knees have to be bent for you to complete that. Then I'm gonna kind of do this double chin position, back of my head against the wall as well. So getting a real attractive face position from here. Reach up, push your arms against the wall, come back down. So we're gonna do about 5 of these. And then I want you to work into as high as you can while maintaining contact against the wall. The foam roller wall slide, and same idea of getting that overhead motion and stretching. So you're gonna lead with your chest on this as well. This can be called a scorpion, and it's a torsional rotation to facilitate more chest stretching. So I'm going to start in this T position, rotate over with my leg, squeeze this glute right here, and then reach as high as you can. This exercise is going to start similar to a Turkish get-up or a kettlebell arm bar. Now you don't need to use a kettlebell for this, but I'm going to use a bottoms-up bell. So I'm going to start by reaching over, just like an arm bar. But from there, I'm going to rotate back and press it.